Okay, we're going to take notes on section 7.3 extension today, which is dealing with the sum of the angles of a triangle. You'll look on your notes at the top of section 7.3 extension. You are looking at an equation. It says the sum of the angle of the measures of a triangle. Sum means to add. So basically, when you add up all the angles, it equals 180. Write that in the blank on your notes. And then look at this triangle. It has three angles. It has x, y, and z. These three angles, algebraically, there's a line right where it says algebra on your paper. It's x plus y plus z equals 180. So write that down in that blank. And that's really all we're covering today. They all add up to 180. So there's some steps below. Step 1, set all three angles equal to 180. Fill that in. After that, you can combine like terms. And finally, you can use a teeter-totter, or I suppose we've been calling it railroad tracks. And that's how you're going to solve your equations. So we'll look at a few examples of this and get you going today. Here's your first example. Here's a triangle. One angle is 28, one angle is 50, and the other one's x. So to figure this out, we know that the value of x plus the 28 plus the 50, because they're a triangle, it all has to add up to 180 degrees. So we combine our like terms. 28 plus 50 is 78. And then you can make your railroad tracks to solve it. To solve for x, you have to subtract 78. So you find out in this case that x is 102 degrees. Now it says to classify the triangle. Because one of the angles is bigger than 180, what would we call that? Good, it is an obtuse triangle. And because none of the sides are the same, we would call that scalene. You should always have two ways to identify your triangle. Go ahead and try the next one. Pause your computer, and when you're done, turn it on to check your solution. Okay, on letter B, you notice this angle right here. We know that angle. It's a right triangle, so it's 90. So we know our value of x plus our 45 plus our 90 together has to equal 180 degrees. Well, 90 plus 45 is 135. So this is the equation we need to solve. And to solve that, we would subtract 135. So in this case, you find out that x equals 45 degrees. Some of you might have figured that out by looking at the triangle, because if the sides are marked the same, we know our angles are the same. So you would know it's a 45-degree angle. To classify this, you should have said it is a right triangle, because you have a right angle. And two of the sides are the same, so it is isosceles. All right, try the next one. Turn your computer back on when you're ready to check it. Okay, on this angle, you should have said that x plus the 34 plus the 88 equals 180. Always equals 180. When you add 34 plus 88, let's say 8 plus 4 is 12. Carry the 1. So you have 122. Then you're going to go ahead and subtract that 122 to get your x all by itself. And in this case, x is going to equal 58 degrees. So you look at all those angles, and they're all less than 90. So you would say this is an acute triangle. And you notice that none of the sides are the same, so it is scalene. Go ahead and pause, and when you're ready, turn it on to check letter B. All right, in this one, you should have found that x plus 65 plus, you do know this angle, it's 90 degrees, equals 180. You can combine these to be 155 degrees. Carry my x down. And then when you solve this, you subtract 155. And you find out in this case that x equals 25 degrees. Now to classify this, there is a 90-degree angle, so we would say this is a right triangle. And none of the sides are the same, so again it is scalene. Go ahead and check, do the last two on the page with the flags, and turn the computer back on when you're ready to check them. Okay, the flag of Jamaica, you know it adds up to 180, so you have in this case two x's. So x plus 128 equals 180. Or you could have noted that that was 2x plus 128. These are my like terms. Now to solve, I have two steps. I have to subtract 128 from both sides. So that's gone, but now I have 2x is equal to my 52. So now I've got to divide by 2 to get x alone, and x is 26. So each of these are 26 degrees. So looking at that, I've got an angle that's larger than 90, so this is an obtuse triangle. And you've got two sides that are same, so that is isosceles. And finally, we've got the flag of Cuba. Again, I've got two x's. I know x plus 60 equals 180. So I know that makes two x's. Now to solve, my first step would be subtract my 60. So now I have two x's are equal to 120, and you divide by 2, and x equals 60. Some of you might have figured that out just looking at it. I'm just showing mathematically how you can solve that. So they're all the same. This is a special triangle. It is equilateral. And it is also equiangular. An equiangular is a special type of acute triangle where they're all 60 degrees. So that's what we wanted to learn in this section, is that all of our triangles always add up to 180 degrees. Your homework is worksheet 137. It's a blue worksheet. And then your homework quiz is 7.3 extension needs to be done